Hello, gamers. Sorry I'm a little late. My disability was acting up last night, so I had trouble getting to sleep because of the pain. Let me turn the volume. This is probably good, right? Can y'all hear the music? Best way to play Mars first. Morps time. Rick and Morpy. Yeah, this is probably good. Oh, you know what? I gotta... Hold on a second. Hold on. I forgot. I have antibiotics I gotta take for my fucking tooth. Take your meds, folks. Take your meds, drink your water, eat brokfasts. We're gonna do both books, so we'll start with book one. In the distant past, the continent of Archanea was invaded by the Durhana Empire, led by the Mamkut king Medivh. The people lived in fear and despair. The holy kingdom of Archanea, which had always guarded the world, was also destroyed by the horrific power of the Dark Dragon. The world was facing ruin. However, a miracle occurred. Henri was a youth from the town of Arithia. He went on a perilous journey to obtain the divine sword of light, Falchion. Wow, they actually got Falchion's name right in the old patch. And used it to challenge and defeat the Dark Dragon, Medivh. With Medivh's fall, the Duruha Empire was vanished. The kingdom of Archanea was destroyed, and the world entered an age of peace. Taking lead from the kingdom of Arithia, many other countries also began to rebuild themselves. But 100 years after the war with Duruha, after many years had passed, Medivh resurrected at Duruha. He allied with the neighboring kingdoms of Grunia and Macedonia and restored the Darhua Empire. Also, he joined with forces with Khadin's Archbishop Garneth, who shared the same ambitions of ruling the world as him, and launched an attack on the kingdom of Archanea. The Archanea fought to the death, but under Grunia's General Camus and Mediath's might, they suffered terrible losses. Aside from Princess Nina, the royal family was wiped out. Aretia's King Cornelius, who possessed the bloodline of Henri, left to defeat Mediath. He took the falchion, the divine sword of legends, to battle, but was betrayed by Baritia's ally, Gra, and died in battle. Following him, the kingdom of Aritia also fell. Prince Marth, just 14 years of age, managed to escape with the help of his elder sister, Princess Ellis. And he fled to the distant island country of Talis. Danny is doing this patch for purpose for memes. Actually, no. Believe it or not, the reason I'm using the old patch. Okay, so this is the craziest thing, right? Modifying FE3 is insanely difficult. And it took me like a week to get Zero Growths working, editing it with Nightmare. I do not know why this happened. I do not know how this happened, right? But the only way I could get it to work was patching with the new translation, editing with Nightmare, and then patching with the old translation after I edited with Nightmare. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna question it. I'm just using it like this. But hey, we're time traveling now. It's back in, 2001 or whenever this was brand new. The old translation names are genuinely funny. So like, I think it worked out. Prince Marth of Aritia was chased out of his homeland by the Darhua Empire. He was protected by the Aretian Knights, led by the veteran knight, Jagan. Oh, they got Jagan's name right. And he escaped, after much struggle, to the eastern island, Kingdom of Talis. The Kingdom of Talis was a small country, even its own knights located at the frontier. The King of Talis lent his eastern fortress to Marth and offered him assistance. After the death of both his parents, his beloved sister's capture by the Empire, Marth felt anxious. Prince Marth, I understand your concern for your sister. However, you're only 14. You're too young to fight with the Empire. Please wait for now. Here you can train until you become strong enough. Bad news about that. Bad news about training until you become strong enough. Under the caring protection of Talis' citizens, Marth had passed 2 years at this country. Right now, it is fast approaching the day that he becomes 16 years of age. That's bizarre. Yeah, I like I said, I don't know. I'm not gonna question it. Hopefully we don't run into any, because I only tested Marth and Doga to see if and both of them got blank level ups. So hopefully we don't run into any like something weird happened moments, but we'll find out together live on stream. Prince Marth, Sheeta has come from Talis Castle. What? Sheeta? What's happened to the castle? Marth, I'm glad to see you. The Garda pirates suddenly attacked us. They took over the castle and killed lots of people. Please, you've got to rescue my father. Don't worry, Sheeta. The bravest Aretian knights are here in this fort. We won't lose to those pirates. Come, let's go to Talis Castle together. Why Doga? Why Doga was just because he had the most experience during my tests. Because he happened to fight enough people while I was getting experience on Marth. So he had like 90 experience, and I was like, well, I can test if it affected everyone or if I just got unlucky with Marth. And I attacked and got the experience, and he didn't get any stats. All right, should we do unit reviews? I'm not like the most knowledgeable at FE3, so I'll probably get some stuff wrong. But that's what chat's here for, to correct me. Let's go Mars and the Atrean Knights. Old translate. Oh, he's Marth, not Mars. Damn. Fucking run over. Run over. Are you doing both books? Yes, but we're starting with one. But yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's do unit reviews. I gotta pull up everything using the bot. Actually. Let's see. Jagan doesn't have book 1, but I think... Oh, the Kagasaga bot has it, right? It's the tactician from Berwick. What is that bot's name? Because I've got it. Let me pull up. It's not Chromar. Chromar is ROM hacks. Weapon level. Doga's better than people think. He's below average. We'll talk about Doga. Well, I mean, we'll talk about all of them. Hold on. I gotta find the stupid bot. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, Tatiana bot. Okay, so Marth. Jagan. Thank you for your patience, y'all. Marth, Jagan, Kane, Abel. All I know about book 1 is Rocher's growths, and that's good enough for me. What are Rocher's growths? I mean, there's 0 in this. Gordon. Toga. And Sheeta. That unit does not exist. That unit does not exist. Fuck, I'm spelling Sheeta wrong. C-A-E-D-A. Okay. So let's start unit reviews. Like I said, not the most knowledgeable on FE3. I'm more FE1 pilled, but there are some differences. So if I get something wrong, please correct me. That's why I've got the bot up. But this is Marth. He is the main lord. In FE1, Marth is widely considered to be like the best unit in the game. I think that's debatable between him and Minerva. I think in FE3 it's not debatable. I think in FE3 Marth is just the best unit in the game, right? He's sword locked, which in other Fire Emblems is generally unfortunate, but in FE3, you only get one weapon type. Like, all units only get one weapon type. Mounted units get two, kind of, because by dismounting they get swords. But they can only have one at a time. And swords are probably the best weapon type in FE3. So, like, I don't know. If you're going to be locked to one weapon type, getting locked to the good weapon type is good. He's also the only unit who can use rapiers, because Fina doesn't exist in Book 1. Does Mark still have Provoke? He does not. I mean, worth noting that, not to get off on a tangent, but the Book 1 Provoke stuff is also not as reliable as people say, because of poor programming. But no, he doesn't have Provoke, but he does have Rapier. He has good growths, 90% HP, 50% attack, 40% skill, 50% speed, 70% luck, 40% weapon level, because your weapon level is a random growth in this. His only bad growths are his defensive ones, 20% defense and 3% resistance, but he starts with 7 defense, which is actually pretty good. If we compare him to Doga, our Armor Knight, that's only 4 less than Doga, right? Yes, his defense growth is 20%, which is not great. But, like, I don't know, it's good enough for early on. And you gotta train Marth up to take down Medius, because how else are you taking down Medius, right? This isn't a case like someone like Ike, where you can give him bonus experience. If you don't use Marth early on, even more so than FE1, you can buy, like, stat boosters, but they're not as insane in FE3 as they are in FE1. Falchion's really good. Swords are really good. Good starting stats. Yeah, Marth's just good, right? Like, having the Rapier is also nice because it's effective against, like, 80% of all enemies. Not in Chapter 1, not in the first 2 chapters where there's, like, Brigand Central. But once we get to fighting the actual army and the majority of foes are Cavaliers and Armor Knights, Rapier good? I don't know, what is the consensus on Marth? Like, do people think that that is... Am I off my rocker saying that Marth is good? Or are we all kind of in agreement around that? Good growths, good weapon type, good Rapier. We can talk about Jagan next. So Jagan is your Jagan. He's a paladin. Paladin is kind of mixed in this because of FE3's dismounting system. Mercurius is no longer Marth exclusive. It's not. No, it's not Marth exclusive. That's an FE1 only thing. Mercurius is just high weapon level, which means in this run, Marth won't be able to use it until... Well, actually, no, he won't be able to use it at all because we can't buy manuals, I'm pretty sure. But Jagan's your Jagan. He has 10 weapon level, so he can use the Silver Lance. And he's got, honestly, not all that impressive stats outside of his weapon level. 7 attack, 9 defense, 22 HP. Paladin having extra move is sort of like a double-edged sword, because it's good on outdoor maps, but FE3 added dismounting. And on indoor maps, Jagan is going to suffer pretty severe dismounting penalties. His dismount penalties are -2 attack, -3 skill, -3 speed, -2 defense, and -6 resistance, alongside -4 move, because dismounted units don't have horses anymore. So that's unfortunate. When mounted, he gets to use lances, and when dismounted, he gets to use swords. Swords are generally better, because lances are heavier, and his speed is already kind of questionable. So getting weighed down by the Silver Lance, the Iron Lance, etc. is not the greatest for him. But then when he dismounts, he loses 3 speed anyway. So there's the idea of, like, you know, you could dismount to use the lighter weapon type, you know, use your Iron Sword instead of the Silver Lance, but then you're stuck at -3 speed. There's weapon weight in this? There is weapon weight in this. Because there's no con. So you can't offset weapon weight. In general, actually, I should probably pull up the FE3 weapons chart. FE3 weapons. But in general, the stronger a weapon is within its, like, tiers, the higher weight it has.
So, like, comparing the Iron Sword, Steel Sword, and Silver Sword, Iron Sword is 2 weight, Steel Sword is 4 weight, Silver Sword is 3 weight, right? You always have your weight subtracted. Lances are heavier than swords. If we scroll down to lances, Javelin is 20 weight, right? Javelin is 20 weight, so you can never double with it, and you almost always get doubled. But even just the Iron Lance is 6 weight. The Silver Lance that Jagan starts with is 7 weight, so his effective speed is just 1. Which, like, that's bad. That's bad, right? So by dismounting and using the Iron Sword, he is faster because he loses 5 speed total instead of losing 7 speed total. But he's still not doubling stuff, right? Because, well, what is the doubling threshold again? I think the doubling threshold... No, it might be 1. FE3 doubling threshold. This is why we're doing this live. So attack speed. Follow-up attack threshold. The doubling speed is 3, it looks like. That's weird. Okay, so yeah, he can't double stuff. Well, he can double 0 AS enemies. But he can't double most stuff, even with the Iron Sword, right? So it's just unfortunate for him. His growths are also shitty. Like 10% HP, attack, skill, speed, and 0% in everything else. Except for Res, everyone has a 3% resistance growth, like everyone in the cast. Everyone in the cast has a 0 res base and a 3% resistance growth, with the exception of the Paladins, who have a 6 res base, I believe. And then Pegasus Knights also have a 6 res base, but they lose that base on dismounting. Sounds like weapon level is going to suck. It's gonna be one of the things that makes this run interesting. Units who start with high enough weapon level to use specific weapons are going to have niches. Like Jagan and Sita having the Silver Lance at base. Navarre is mostly worse Ogma, but he has higher weapon levels. There's some cool stuff like that. Does FE3 have negative speed? I don't think so. I think that got introduced in 4. Yeah, the only game where speed can be negative is 4. So again, Jagan can only double 0 AS enemies with the Iron Sword while dismounted, and can't double anything with the Silver Lance, which is unfortunate for him. Especially because his stats just are not phenomenal compared to the Christmas Calves. In normal play, he's gonna get outshined by them pretty quickly. But yeah, he's your Jagan. I think arguably one of the weaker Jagans, I guess, because promotion items, the way that they are rare enough that, like, just having the higher move can be nice on certain outdoor maps. But I think he's one of the weaker Jagans in the series, just because of how FE3's mechanics all sort of work against him. Especially since on the same map Sita joins, and, you know, being able to use the Silver Lance at base is kind of Jagan's claim to fame. But Sita can use the Silver Lance at base, and she can double stuff with it. 12 speed mounted, and she has a weapon level of 7, which is just enough for the Silver Lance. So 12 speed mounted, she has 5 AS, she can double a lot of things with the Silver Lance. Just trading it onto her, she can sometimes do Jagan's job a little bit better than him. Now, she's obviously significantly frailer, 16 HP, although 7 defense, again, not terrible. Is that the same defense stats Jagan? No, he has 9. So she's frailer than Jagan, but she'll double things. She definitely does not, she definitely doesn't, like, frontline as well as him. But on player phase, doubling things, dealing a ton of damage with the Silver Lance is pretty cool. You can also dismount her to take even further advantages at speed with swords instead of lances. And she starts with the Slim Lance, which I didn't go over that in terms of lance weights and stuff. But the Slim Lance is only 2 weight, so it's like sort of the exception to the rule when it comes to lances. It has the same weight as the Iron Sword. So as long as you have a Slim Lance on her, you don't need to do the dismounting trick. And you can sort of take advantage of that. 7 defense is amazing in a 20 cap game. True. Especially because, like, it's not like her growths are terrible, right? She has a 20% defense growth, same as Marth. 50% HP growth, 20% attack, 70% skill, 90% speed, 70% luck, and 80% weapon level, which is funny because she already starts with such a high weapon level, right? That being said, I think the main thing that contributes to the fact she's a lot less bulky than Jagan is her HP. 16 HP is kind of abysmal, and 50% growth on it is not great either. The HP growths tend to be pretty high. So even though her defense stat is not as bad as you would expect like a frail little Pegasus to, I do think she ends up being kind of fragile until promotion. Because on promotion to Wyvern, she gets some pretty good stats. Her HP gets raised to at least 20, but like you're probably already above 20 by then, except for in our case. But she gets 3 strength, 4 defense. She loses 6 resistance, but she gets 2 move. Worth noting, her dismount penalties are also pretty bad. I think her dismount penalties are worse than Paladin's, right? Because she loses 4 defense as opposed to their 2. While dismounted, she loses 3 attack, 3 skill, 3 speed, 4 defense, and 4 move. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. For our purposes, we're probably not going to be using her in indoor maps. And that's she can struggle because FE1 was not designed with dismounting in maps, so there's a lot of maps where it's just like, oh, all my cav units suck, but I only have cav units, because you just get fed so many fucking paladins in this game. It's kind of ridiculous. Now I understand Book 2 Pegasus. Yeah, well, so when we get to Book 2 and we're talking about the Book 2 units, it's a whole other ball game. But like just in Book 1, Peg's not like, it's not terrible. But any mounted class is going to struggle on like at least half of the maps because of dismounting. As the dismounting penalties in this are so strong, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Should we talk about the Christmas caps individually? Like, are they even distinct enough to talk about individually? I guess kind of. Kane's the red cav. Red armor means he's evil. He's the bad one. Arguably, I think maybe he's better? I don't know. They're so similar. They're so similar. He's got like extra attack, 1 extra point of attack, 1 less point of speed. But then he has a 60% speed growth compared to Abel's 50% speed growth, right? Like, these guys are the same fucking thing. Not her. These guys are the same fucking thing. Like, 10% growth differences and 1 base differences. They got no weapon range to tell them apart. Well, aren't they, it's the weapon level, right? Abel has a higher weapon level at 6. Kane has weapon level of 5, which I guess could give Abel the advantage. Weapon level of 6 with a 70% growth means he's 1 away from Silverlands, which is pretty cool. But like Kane is 2 away from Silverlands and he has a 90% weapon level growth, so even that's not a big deal. They're competing on social medias. They're just the same unit. If you want to train up a paladin, like they both will outshine Jagan pretty quickly because they actually have growths. I guess I should go over their growths, right? Like, because that's sort of the defining feature. Their bases are a little bit worse than Jagan, but their growths are significantly better. Kane has 60% HP, 30% attack, 60% skill, 60% speed, 50% luck, 90% weapon level, 20% defense, and of course 3% resistance. And then Abel has basically the same, give or take 10%, 70% HP, 40% attack, 50% skill, 50% speed, 40% luck, 70% weapon level, 20% defense, and 3% resistance. So they have the same defense growth. They both get mogged by Harden. They do both get mogged by Harden. This is the game where Harden is dominant. As opposed to FE1, where I don't actually think he necessarily is. Every single time I hear you read them off, I think to myself, and 100% reason to remember the name. Yeah, I guess, like, what level is Javelin? Is that, like, Abel's claim to fame, is he can jab at base and Kane can't? I think that is. Weapon level of... Nope, it's weapon level 3. So they both can jav. They're fucking interchangeable. These clowns are fucking interchangeable. I like the red one better, but the funny green tooth sprite, so, you know. Harden with the silver sword, he can only use dismounted. The Harden silver sword moment, he just gets screwed over so hard with the silver sword every single time. It's very funny. Aren't javs in this game famously bad? It's one of the weakest javelins, but I think having the 1-2 range option is nice. You can't double with them, and you almost always get doubled because they have 20 weight, so you go down to 0 AS. But, like, being able to attack someone uncountered is still nice. And then you just, like, you trade equip something else. I don't think they're great, but it's a nice option to have. But also everyone has that option. Anyone mounted has that option because it's weapon level 3. 70 accuracy too, like it's not that accurate. But yeah, they're the fucking same unit. Like, look at these clowns. Look at these clowns. And then we have Doga and Gordon to talk about. I guess we can talk about Doga because we just got told Jav bad. This is the unit who uses the Jav best because, well, I say that, but his speed growth is fucking phenomenal. Doga's so weird as a unit. Like he seems like he's gonna be your tanky, stand there, throw jabs, doesn't matter that he gets doubled guy. 11 defense is fucking absurd for chapter 1 in a game where stats cap at 20. But I hope you're used to that 11 defense because he has a 10% defense growth. In fact, his growths are very different from what you would expect them to be. 60% HP, 20% attack, 40% skill, 40% speed, 20% luck, 20% weapon level, 10% defense, 3% res, of course. The only growths are skill and speed. Those are armor's weaknesses. The Boars is the same way. Like, for some reason, early Armor Knights in the series loved having a good speed growth, although 40% is arguably not actually good. And bad defense growths. Like, 10% defense. It's not that he needs extra defense level ups. 11 defense is very good. His low HP growth, 60% on a 20 base, is also not great. The man who couldn't promote. He can promote in this. He can promote in FE3, right? I'm pretty sure General is a promotion here. Yeah. He gains 3 speed. His weapon level gets dragged up to 10. He gains 4 defense, 2 attack, 1 skill. And his HP gets dragged up to 28. And he gains 3 resistance, which is weird. I think you're thinking of FE1. He couldn't promote in FE1. But in FE3 he promotes, and that 4 defense, sort of, it brings him up to a base of 15. Definitely makes up for his lackluster, shall we say, growth. If you decide to spend your Night Crest on him. Low move, like, still that problem. But hey, indoor maps exist, and everyone's gonna be on fairly low move in indoor maps. Like, 5 move is less than infantry, which is normally 6. Although archers also have 5 move, right? But it's not that much less. I don't know, I think Doga's actually pretty good in FE3. Book 1, specifically. book 2 kind of fucks him over. But in book 1, I think he's actually pretty good. It just by virtue of having insane defense, it sucks that he's stuck on lances. Lances are an unfortunate weapon type. Can Doga use swords? He cannot. Every class can only use one weapon type. The exception are mounted units who dismount to use swords. But you can only use one weapon type at a time, and armors get lances, which is unfortunate. It weighs him down. I assume that the speed growth is meant to sort of offset that, but in our playthrough, Doga's just always gonna have 0 AS. But hey, if you get doubled, have a good defense stat, right? He can be the stand there and jab guy, until enemies get silver weapons. Because enemies with silver weapons will still shred him. That's the unfortunate thing about a 20 cap game, is like, at a certain point you're still taking ridiculous damage from silver weapons and stuff. But hey, Doga can choke the point. Doga can choke the point. Doga can have 1 AS with the Slim Lance. Yo, gaming! Yo, gaming. He still doubles nothing, though, and gets doubled by everything. I don't think I've ever seen Doga contribute in Book 2, whether DS or this. Well, in DS, he can reclass to a Hunter, and he's actually quite good. But in this, no. In this, no. And that brings us to, last but not least, Gordon, the Archer. Archers are kind of an armored class, because they also only have 5 move, and they're meant to be defense-focused, although someone forgot to tell Gordon's growth rates that. I don't know. What do we think about him? There's not enough, like, this isn't book 2, right? So there's not enough flyers to shoot down. Being able to attack uncountered is nice, but Gordon's stats are not. 18 HP, 5 strength, 4 speed. Like, what is he doing? And his growths are pretty bad, too. 30% attack, 40% HP, 30% skill. I got excited, but it's not. 30% speed, 40% luck, 50% weapon level, 10% defense, 3% resistance. Promo gains the claim to fame. Kind of. He gets 5 speed and 5 skill out of it. But then you only get 2 strength and 1 defense, 3 res. Worse than Tomas, probably. It's nice to exist early on, and like he can do some chip damage. The base for a good amount of time for awful archers. Yeah, I mean, at least in book 2, I do legitimately think Gordon's good in book 2 when we get to those unit reviews. But in book 1, I just don't see the vision. Like, he's doing chip damage for a little bit. You know, it's the William or Walt or Rolf or Rebecca problem, right? Where, like, why are all these green-haired archers shit? I feel bad deep beating on a dead horse. No, it's like, it's unfortunate. He'll have his time in the sun someday, but not today. Range chip just also isn't as important in book 1, because enemies are not as tough as in later. Like, look at this. These guys are weak. And, like, obviously this is chapter 1, right? But, like, we'll probably get use out of him, a little bit of use out of him, because, like, 0 growths moment. I honestly think Tomas is better because of level line. Yeah, that's the other thing, is, like, if the claim to fame is the sniper bonuses, the speed and skill you get, because let's be honest, 2 strength is not salvaging this man, then just, why are we training Gordon for 9 levels when we can train Tomas for 1? Or use George for free, right? It's just unfortunate. I always use Gordon because I like him. 7th favorite in the game. That's fair. Use your favorites. Use your favorites. Use your favorite units. Castor too. Oh right, Castor the hunter. And he can actually get a horse, although that's usually a bad thing. That's actually kind of a bad thing. That's actually not great for him, because then he has to deal with dismounting penalties. Although his dismounting penalties aren't that bad, because they just kind of make him unpromoted again. George has the base weapon level for Parthia. Yup. It's, And then we got Gordon. Gordon just kind of sucks. Alright, with that taken care of, we can finally actually play the fucking game, right? So, with weight being the top option, instead of the bottom option, so, okay, I should say this, right? Staffers, weight is above staff. So there are almost certainly going to be times throughout this run where I accidentally hit weight instead of staff. If that happens, I'm using the emulator rewind function to correct myself. So I'm just gonna put that out there ahead of time. So there's no, no confusion when it happens. I won't be using it for, like, anything else, but if I hit weight instead of staff, like, that's just, you know, unfortunate. Or weight instead of, like, trade, you know, that sort of stuff. Basically for misclicks.
Prince Moth, please wait. This is what the villagers gathered up. Altogether, there's 5,000 gold. Please use it to make preparations and then rescue this country from the Garuda pirates.
Unironically, these are some of my favorite animations in the series. I think they're so good, and they're adaptive as well, which is the cool part. Gordon wants to achieve his prime from Shadow Dragon Fates. What does Gordon do in SD Fates? What are his skills? I don't remember. Also, shoutouts to, whatchamacallit? Clunky trading mechanics? I admit I'm biased, but I think the best way to experience Marth's first game is FE3. FE3 is one of the first games I've emulated back as a teenager, so I have nostalgia for it. Yo, Doga not getting doubled because axes are so fucking heavy. What the knight's doing? We killed the thief. Go over here. This game is charming. It's clunky as hell, but it is charming. We'll just build a wall. We'll just build a 3-person wall. Book 1 is annoying because you're listening to the same player face tune every map except for one. What map is the exception? Is it the final map? I never finished it because menuing annoyed me. Yeah, the menuing is definitely a little clunky. No! Marth missed! I can't wait to recruit my favorite Archanea character, Reese. Get wrecked, Marth. Get wrecked. Or, sorry, get Rift Pirate. Get wrecked. Get Marthed. You know what's kind of cool about this one, right? That FE11 definitely should have copied? We start with Vulneraries! Well, just one. But still. Okay. Go, Gordon. Iron Bow this fucker. No! Bad unit moment. Darrow's gaming today? Oh, I've got bad news. I've got bad news. I've got bad news for the Darrow's fans. The Darrow's fandom about to be in shambles. He got deleted from existence. I never finished FE1 because it's dated in terms of mechanics. Same with Gaiden. I experienced an Echoes, which I love and consider one of the best games. Yo! The crit! Sorry to interrupt the chat message, but the crit. Let's get another Javelin just to have another ranged option. We can give it to, like, Abel. Kane and Abel can each have a Javelin. Archanea Saga stream win? Oh, true. BSFE moment. I'm an FE1 defender. I'm also an FE1 defender. I like FE1. One Fire Emblem unit in a game should have a 200% res growth just built for both because it's a funny and a niche. That would be a funny niche. That would be a funny niche. I agree. Your Goto video? I just rewatched your Goto video. I can't wait to see how well he's utilized in this game. I don't remember everything, but I remember you saying he's better utilized here than FE1. Alright, Mars. Go to the fort. Oh, he can't reach. No weapon triangle either, so you don't, like, want to dismount to be an advantage. The generic evil wizard looming at Eunuch like that TF2 meme. I'm not familiar with Team Fortress 2, sorry. Oh, I forgot to get Iron Lances. I forgot that you have to buy an Iron Lance for Abel and Jagan, because they just don't fucking start with one. I don't fear anything but that man. Oh, is the I don't fear any man but that thing? Forced dismounting for indoor maps should be in every game. I think only if the maps are designed with it in mind. I think one of the problems FE3 Book 1 has is so many of the maps are just not designed with dismounting in mind. You basically have to use warp to save one of the treasures in the first indoor map, chapter 6, because the game assumed you would have paladins and cavaliers and stuff, right? Ronin's funny. I want a 100 magic growth outlaw right now. It will never happen. I don't really understand Ronin memes, but I'm happy for the people who enjoy them. Is Chapter 18 the Garneth map designed around Dismountain? So from my Christmas Cab solo video, I would argue no, mostly because that map was just kind of bullshit. It's the only exclusive map though, like it's kind of cool in that regard. Ronin is cool as a character, a person with insane magic potential, but he was too poor to go to school. That's interesting. Wait, yo, the subtle storytelling. Kaga was truly a genius ahead of his time. How did we not know? There we go. Gordon finally gets a W. Oh my god, Abel, why do you suck so much? What's wrong with the Garneth map? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just soloing with sword units against all mages is, kind of torturous. Because they, you know, they'll fuck you up. I can't be bothered to come up with a joke about how Beck is absent. We missed both ballisticians. Beck survived the FE12 playthrough, only to be snuffed out of existence for FE3. Why is Garneth map different in FE3 Book 1? The world may never know. Does Marth have Provoke? I feel like a lot of people are attacking him. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he does have Provoke, and I just didn't know it. Yo, our first blank level up! Be prepared for many more. Why did Jagan heal so— oh right! Fort healing is random in this game! I forgot. This game is so funky. I forgot fort healing is literally random. Doga smash! This game inherited most of its jank from FE1, true. He does have soft provoke in FE1, not soft provoke plus. Wrong. It is soft. It is soft. It's soft because the game is too janky for the AI to be consistent, unfortunately. I hate to break it to you. Let's grab an Iron Lance as well. We're gonna get $1 bajillion. We can trade an Iron Lance to Jagan. Is there any point to getting EXP on Meth? On Marth? Because with most other unpromoted, they'd at least be getting closer to promotion. I'm mostly just trying to clear the map right now. I'm not really focusing on any of these guys, because other than Sita, none of them really care about promoting because they're not going to be used long term. Sita might, but like probably the White Wings instead. Meth will be taking stat boosters. Okay, so with the Iron Lance, 12 attack versus 11. Okay, so you could silver to kill this guy. Let's have Gordon chip him down instead. Meth will be taking the drugs. Meth will be taking meth. Got it. We had beer in FE12, but we need something stronger for FE3. Yo, happy music time. Doga, I guess, is also one who we might use long enough to promote, although Roger is gonna just be better. Promotion items for all the Chapter 1 units are too late. Yeah, the promotion items in this game are notoriously late. Bring back victory music. Victory music's so peak. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. 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 I kind of get why they did away with it. It's tonally dissonant. It can be if the boss is, like, fucked up. Yeah, that's true. Imagine when this game first came out and somebody gave up on Doga to train Roger, though, just to learn he's gone. Oh, right, Roger is gone, isn't he? Poor incels. Got nothing going for him now. Bring back the depression music from Thracia. I legitimately forgot that Roger was gone. Today they could disable it for maps where it doesn't fit. True. Like, just have it only be on certain maps. Oh boy, time to recruit Vulnerary! Roger's map itself is gone, so that's why they cut him. Yeah, it's kind of a filler map anyway. But how am I gonna train Wolf and Sedgar now? We need a silly whimsical music in Effie Awakening after Crom's sister dies. It's still in the game. Roger was just cut for no reason. Oh, he's just not on the map? So a Daros archetype? Janky weapon trading. Defense on an Armor Knight was too complicated for 1994 players. No one likes the Wooden Cavalry. It's annoying joke in 1 and annoying pain in 11. Do we have linked AI? Do we have linked AI moments? It's FE12 all over again. Oh, you're the Prince of Arithia. It's like a dream to be able to see you. This Vulnerary is a small gift from me. Please accept it. I am Vulnerary, a humble Vulnerary. I cannot fight, but this Vulnerary will heal your wounded. Take me with you and you'll be glad you did. Let's put the humble Vulnerary on our frontliners.
Arcadia's Princess Nina and Orleans Lord Hardin have currently united. It seems they are fighting to defend Orleans against an invasion by Tirana's Imperial Army. It's going to be a fierce battle, Your Highness. You should go help them.
Do a unit review for everyone that got cut, and it's just how much the player misses that unit. I mean, so, okay. Do y'all think the Vulnerary or Riss are better? Because, like, Riss is better. But there's a talking point I hear people say where, like, the Vulnerary is actually an upgrade because staff healing is fixed in FE1 at only 10 each. But, like, 10 healing is also what a Vulnerary does. And the Vulnerary only has 3 uses. And you have to take a unit's turn to do it. Riss gets his own turn to Vulnerary someone else. Like, he can use a Vulnerary on someone else 16 times. Because of the heal staff. So, like, I've never understood the argument behind the Vulnerary is better. Counterpoint, saying the Vulnerary is better is funny. That's true. That it does funny. It is funny. It is funny. Riss takes up a deployment slot? Is that the actual argument? I can't tell if you're memeing or not. It's hard to tell over text. Healer is a dismounted dancer if you think about it. What if you don't think about it? What about then? You can pass the Vulnerary around like a blunt.
What? The Archanea army? If we let you guys walk all over us, it would ruin the name of us pirates. Die.
I don't think Riss is worth a deployment slot, but he's a free deploy for 3 maps, right? I think taking up a deployment slot is less of a problem than I think taking up a deployment slot is less of a problem than... Because, like, the vulnerary takes an inventory slot, I guess. Although, given the way that items work in FE3, that's not really an argument. They should have just added a 60-use vulnerary from FE7. AS of 10, AS of 6, AS of 0. We can double this guy. He heals less in FE11 than a vulnerary. That's true. But I also think the action economy, like, doesn't the turn economy make it worth it? Arguably? Gordon, you suck. Since this is FE1, you should go every unit that joins and joke whether or not they're an archetype. You should have given an engage antitoxin that secretly negates the Devil Axe backfire. In FE1, you can actually somewhat frequently miss 100s. Oh, is it a Pokemon Gen 1 archetype? Pokemon Gen 1 moment. Why does everyone complain about the FE6 RNG? Because your hit rates are generally lower in that game than in other Fire Emblems. Especially compared to the GBA era, which it often is compared to because it is the GBA era, you know? FE1 RNG is way more fucked up. Sure, but how many people actually play FE1? Like, I'm one of them. I'm raising my hand. But how many people actually play FE1? Whereas, like, a lot of people will play FE7 and then be like, well, I kind of want to play FE6 now. See how the story continues, right? Because FE7 ends with sort of the FE6 cliffhanger. And if you go directly from FE7, where weapons are more accurate, into FE6... then, you know, it's fair to have a problem with the accuracy changes, I think. Meanwhile, like, FE11 versus FE1, are you gonna play FE1 after you play FE11? Maybe. If you're based. Ugh, how? Shoutouts to the sad music playing when you kill a boss. That's my favorite feature of this game. Outside of Anima, even with Anima, Anima's accurate, but enemies have more avoid.
Oh, Prince Marth, I'm glad to see you're safe. We are all very grateful for your actions. Is that so? You're finally heading out to Orleans? In that case, I will send some soldiers to aid you. These men, led by Captain Ogama, are very brave warriors. I'm certain they will help you in battle. Before you go, I have some important advice for your highness. From now on, during your highness's travels, you will surely find many people who despise the Duray Empire. Some of them are hiding in villages, while others have been captured by enemies. There may even be some who have been forced to work to Darua. Finding these people and fighting together with them is crucial. Do you understand me, Prince Marth? Well, the time has come. You must be determined during your journey. Good luck.
Anima Fire Tome is underrated. I don't know if it is. I think people have come around on it. But Anima is the best weapon type in FE6. But, like, also that's kind of its cheater answer because it's magic. So I understand when people say swords are the best weapon type, they're talking about physical weapons. But Anima is better than swords, right? Like, it just is. It hits on res, it's 1-2 range, it's accurate, like, it's just better. Marth, I have pro tips for you. Try recruiting units. Hope this helps. Game FAQs tips from the King of Talus. We love you, King of Talus. We love you. Across the shore from the Kingdom of Talus is Garda Port. For a long time, it has been a poor but peaceful port town. One day, it was suddenly attacked by a pirate gang and it has since become their base. From Garda Port, Marth begins the first steps to liberating his homeland. I could joke about light magic being the best because it's a better hit, but nah. I guess maybe. I honestly, I always like don't even think of light magic existing. Look at how empty this map is. No Darrows. Prince Marth, I am Oguma, a Talus mercenary. I have been ordered by my king to join your army, along with my 3 subordinates. This is Garda Port, which is currently ruled by pirates. The Garunian army has also come to defeat your highness. No matter what happens, please be cautious. Alright. Ogma. Cord. Board. Barst. And we should get Caspar on the bot as well. Okay. So, Ogma. Easily the best of the units who's joining us on this chapter. Solid bases, like 12 speed and a sword user, so doesn't dismount, so he never has dismount penalties. 6 defense is questionable. And weapon level of 6 is also questionable, 1 shy of the silver sword, unfortunate. But he has a 70% weapon level growth, also 80% HP growth, 40% attack, 20% skill, 30% speed, 40% luck, 30% defense, 70% weapon level. Decent growths, very good starting stats. Well, his strength is questionable, but his speed is nice, right? His bulk is I think worse bulk than most of your chapter 1 units. But he can double stuff, he can deal decent damage, and he uses swords, that's pretty good. Hero promo bonuses are just 2 across the board. 2 attack, 2 skill, 2 speed, 2 defense, 3 resistance. Woohoo! Hero promotion gains are very sad. But at least he can promote. Like, that's something. You also get a hero crest earlier than anything else, which is nice. He is solid, but I also think, like, I say he's the best of the units that join on this chapter. That's more of a condemnation of the people around him than it is praise for Ogma. Ogma has this problem where he's, like, hyped up in the lore of Archanea, but he's kind of just mid in every Archanea game. Yeah, he's just kind of there. He'll be useful here. Best unit, not axe user. I mean, that's why he's the best one, right? Because he's not weighed down as much. He can actually use that 12 speed, like 10 AS with the iron sword. Pretty good. But like, I don't know. He just kind of exists. I think he's fine filler. Like, he's kind of just a long-term filler unit, it feels like. And then His best appearance is FE12 Lunatic Reverse, where he fucking dies on turn 1. How exactly does Zero Growths work? Just, we'll never level up any stats. It's the same as in any other Zero Growths mod. Nobody ever levels up their stats. Even with Star Spheres. The Star Spheres, I changed their boost to be 0 for Book 2. But yeah, Ogma's mid. Ogma's mid. At least he's not an axe user. Are you Barst? You're Saji. Yes, we have Maji and Saji! I was hoping the old translation would have Maji and Saji. And Bartz! Final Fantasy V Bartz! Bartz. So he is the other one in contention for the best of these units, but I think he is worse. He has better starting stats. 24 HP, 10 strength, like that's good. He's slower, but like speed doesn't matter because he uses axes, so he's gonna have 0 AS anyway. His growths are actually pretty good. 60% HP, 50% strength, 50% skill, 50% speed, 70% luck, 30% weapon level, 50% defense, 3% res. Fighters don't promote in this game, which is a knock against him. And axes are heavy, so he's almost never going to double. And he almost always gets doubled. Although the hand axe is arguably better than the javelin, because the hand axe is not 20 weight. The hand axe is, was it 5 weight, I think? No, it's 5 might. It's 9 weight, so it's very heavy, but you can actually double with it if you get enough speed. And Bartz does have a pretty good speed growth at 50%. He only has 15 levels he can actually level up to like gamble on these good growths. I feel like this is kind of like Wolf and Castor in FE11, where because they can't promote, he kind of has insane growths, but you have limited time to make use of those growths. It's obviously not to the same extent as them, especially since there's no reclassing, but it's the same general idea, I think. Pretty cool, in concept, but in execution, I do think he's kind of let down by his weapon type. And similar to Ogma, he's solid filler for a while, but eventually you just get people who are better than him, in my opinion. Still solid, like definitely the best axe user in the game. Although with Saji and Maji, that's not the compliment it might appear to be. Oh, Saji. Oh, Maji. So which one of them, none of them have the funny hammer rank, do they? Yeah, Bartz is the funny rank guy. Although Saji does have 5 rank, which I believe, well, there's no hammer in this. It's not enough for Silver Axe. None of them have enough for Silver Axe, do they? Because Silver Axe is 10. That's sad. Yeah, their weapon ranks don't actually matter because 3 is the lowest one, and that's everything but silver. That's funny. That's sad, but that's funny. That's the other problem, is there's just no, like, variety in the axes. But I guess, like, you don't really need it. You get 2 iron axes. Saji and Maji are, I guess they're different enough. They're like the fucking Christmas caps again, where it's like, are they really? They're filler axe units. They're the same fucking guys. Can he double a rock wall? I mean, they've got decent speed, but they're just weighed down by axes moment, right? The iron axe has 7 weight. So, like, Saji has 0 AS at base. Maji has 2 AS at base. Bartz has 2 AS at base. Axes just suck. They're the meat shield archetype. Shoutouts to, is Saji an Ike archetype or is Ike a Saji archetype? Because 2 iron axes, like the iron swords. I think Ike is a Saji archetype. We need to get that straight. We need to get that straight. I do like what Shadow Dragon Fates did for Cordon Board. Battle Mage is cool. Yeah, I mean, they're basically like Oni Chieftain, right? Kind of cool. Kind of cool. But yeah, they sure do exist, and they sure are filler units. The filler units of all time. That's all four of them. That's all four of them. Yeah, that's all four of them. Alright. So I think what we do is put Doga up here, have Doga choke this point. And send everyone else this way. But Ike is gay. Yo, gay Ike moment. Gay Saji. Chat, are Board Court and Barst like siblings or a polycule? I was never clear on that. Because we know Board and Court are both gay, because they hit on male Chris. But what I want to know is, are they gay for each other, or are they brothers for each other? They're probably related. Well, that's just racist against Axe Bros. They're obviously just identical strangers. They share the same dentist and have zero relationship otherwise. Look at Doga tanking, choking this point. The only character I know for Court and Board is saying that they aren't the other. Yeah, they're very much not each other. But they do hit on Chris during that scene, I feel like. They're like, I'm the handsome one. Don't you agree? I'm the handsome. Because Sita would be in range of this hunter if she recruits Kashim. Unless we... Yeah, I think we gotta back up. Everyone execute Operation Back the Fuck Up. Castor Gaming, he's the recruitment tutorial archetype. He's a Navarre. He's a Navarre. Navarre. Navarchetype. Would you say Castor is good? He gets a horse in a game where you dismount indoors. Yeah, that's... I mean, we'll talk about it in the Castor unit review, but that's definitely a problem. Castor is more Navarre than Navarre. The Navarchetype. Castor's good short term. I think so too. I think so too. Making the first aggressive unit recruitable in the series an archer recruited by a flyer is interesting. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I wish they would do more archers recruited by flyers moments. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. 100 Horsemen is a weak promotion. It's just a skill and a horse. And the horse isn't even good, right? But the stats are stored in the horse. Like when you, I believe the dismount bonus, the dismount penalties and the promotion bonuses, I think they're the same, right? Two skill, 2 defense, 3 move. 2 skill, 2 defense, 3 move. It's literally the same. It's literally the same. That's so funny. Alright, Barts. Show them why you're the Barts archetype. Yo, Crab Walk. Alright, Sita, recruit Kashim. Kashim? You're Kashim. Why are you doing this? Sheeta, I'm sorry. My mother fell ill. I must find gold to buy her medicine for her. So you joined the pirates. I see. Well, I have some gold here. Take it to buy medicine for your mother. You would help a traitor like me? Cheetah, please forgive me. Cheetah, I will lend my life to you! So this is Castor, or Kashim, depending on the translation. Basically, everything I said about Gordon applies to him, but he's got better stats. Bows aren't really great in this, are they? But 7 strength, doing chip damage with an iron or steel bow is nice. His growths are also very strength focused. 70% HP, 60% strength, 40% skill, 40% speed, 20% luck, 20% weapon level, 20% defense, and of course, 3% res, you know it. 6 speed is decent. Is it with a bow? Cause bows are fairly light, right? They are not fairly light. 4 weight. He's got 2 AS. 6 speed is not decent. With an iron bow, he has 4 AS. He can't double shit. With a steel bow, he's got 0 AS. 6 speed is not decent. I would, push back against that argument. You know what also isn't decent is his promotion bonuses. 2 skill, 2 defense, 3 move. Those are also his dismount penalties, because he gets a horse. So he basically doesn't get promo bonuses on indoor maps. But he doesn't have harsh dismount penalties. Like, he's got the least harsh dismount penalties, which is nice. I don't know, Horse Archer is interesting. The fact that his promotion bonuses are just his dismount bonuses is also interesting. What about the bowgun? There's no bowgun in this. I'm sorry. Castor is always jacked for some reason. Well, he has a very good strength growth. 60% strength growth is quite good. 7 base, 60% strength. It's nice. He misses out on sniper promo bonuses, but I think those are sometimes kind of overgassed. He wouldn't be doubling stuff with them anyway, right? I don't know. I think he's probably better than Gordon. At the very least, he's good. He's better short term because he has better strength and better strength growth. I think he's probably like decent enough to be a bad filler unit long term, but like, I don't know. Bows are still not great in book 1, in my humble onion. Tomas is better than Castor? Arguably. I think Tomas is simultaneously, like, he used to be slept on, and now he might be a little bit overgassed, because people know the Tomas tech. And like think it's the coolest thing on Earth, especially in FE1. In FE3, he's probably not overgassed, but in FE1, I think he is. But Castor is fine. He's fine. Short-term filler unit moment. Promotion will reset his level, true. Maji. The hate for archers because of GBA is too strong, which resulted in the 2 to 3 range debate. Oh, like Project Ember stuff? You mean? How Project Ember gives archers 2-3 range? I think Chip is like fine here in FE3 Book 1. It's Book 2 where archers are at their most phenomenal though. Because of the because of all the, wyverns. Low move moments. Six defense is 12. He dies to that guy. Gordon, why? Doga, can you kill this guy? I don't think you can. 14 attack. Oh, no, 10. That's 10 damage. Yeah. I underestimated you, Doga. Gordon lives. I feel like you don't use snipers in FE3, FE1 or 3 Book 1 because you need to glass wyverns, but they're built like the already busted hero class. Huh? Sorry, I'm not quite sure I understand.
This is the armory. What do you want?
You don't use them to dispatch flyers because they're basically bow using heroes. Oh, because they've got like kind of mid stats. Sniper's goals isn't to kill wyverns, but to be heroes with bows. Just because they're fast and they double stuff. Give me bow hero. I need a hero! A bow hero! I want weapons to be less of a reason why a unit is good. Just make the characters themselves actually good with skills. Lots of skills. Them's fighting words in some places on the internet. I like skills. But I had someone email my business email mad at me for liking skills because Awakening ruined the franchise. Yo, the crit! They have high skill and are fast, so they can crit more easily. True. They don't need a crit bonus to have a crit bonus because of the way that skill works in this. True facts. I'm not a fan of how Three Houses handles weapons. You mean everyone using every weapon? Yeah, I don't like that either. I like weapons being restricted to specific classes, personally. Awakening, as we all know, introduced skills and it was a non-existent mechanic prior to Awakening. I mean, Awakening did change skills. It made them, like, it introduced, like, the learning skills by leveling up thing that has now become sort of the standard. Well, was standard in Awakening, Fates, and Engage. Not in Three Houses. Awakening's only mistake was making enemy counter work on their turn so they can make you kill yourself. I really don't like that approach to counter. Yeah, I really don't like that approach to counter, personally. I don't know. I think Awakening's biggest mistake is it just has bad map design. I don't like the maps. Abel is level 2. They must have fixed it. They must have fixed it because most skills in Engage are dog shit. The class skills, yeah. That's what I like to call a common Engage W. Oh boy, I can't wait to see Jagen's epic level up. Reforge should have prevented break. The best thing that Reforge does is the LTC that takes advantage of Reforge to kill Mavier faster on the 6v6 map. I think that's epic. Looks like we had a bit of an OBS hiccup. Are y'all back? Are we still here? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. Time for a classic maneuver. Mage Knights have a decent class skill. Mage Knights have a good class skill. Wyvern would if there was more places to take advantage of it. That's basically it. Like, what other class skills are useful in Engage? I guess Clear the Way, kind of. Brave Assist is also good. I think Brave Assist is only good if you go for Hero Ball. I don't actually think Brave Assist, because I'm not a fan of I don't think the assist attacks are actually all that helpful. I think that they are not great. I think they're not great. Halberdier? Nah. Halberdier was the thing that got propagandized early on. The pincer attack, right? I think it's more cool than good. Proc skills should have been if unit has done X amount of combats, the next combat will have X effect. Yeah, like building a meter up. There's a Radiant Dawn hack that does that. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but there's a Radiant Dawn hack that does that. Hortensia's class skill. Oh, yeah, it's overrated, but, that's the one that saves staff uses, right? It's pretty good. Golden Lotus on Alfred, especially when he gets doubled. My favorite propaganda point. Luna's pretty good, because, Alcris can proc it with, like, Braves, right? What's, oh no, Luna's not even a class skill. No, it is a class skill, because Alcrid's personal is the get behind me. It doesn't feel like a class skill, because it's only on a unique class, but it is a class skill. Yeah, I don't know. Can anyone else think of any good ones? Like, you could probably do some stuff with, like, the sniper crit stuff, bow knight crit stuff, but, like, whatever. Wonder how good Soul would be if it wasn't Diamant locked. Eh. I think it'd be kind of eh. What does Wolf Knight get again? Oh, Hobble. Hobble's pretty good. Situationally, Hobble can be good. Tome Harmony for Dire Thunder nukes? Yeah. If you're doing degenerate Dire Thunder stuff like I like to do. But also Dire Thunder's probably a little overrated, right? Is Dire Thunder still overrated? Merciless! Right, on Warrior, Merciless is good. Is Dire Thunder still overrated? Like, do people still think Dire Thunder is, like, necessary to beat the game or whatever the propaganda used to be? I think people have come around on both Dire Thunder and the assist attacks not being that great. Vale and Alir's lowering the gauge meters. I think, like you say, the refill tiles kind of negate that. Yeah, I don't know. Dire Thunder's a Brave Tome. It's a Bond Ring that makes Thunder Brave. Thunder +5 is still weak in the late game. Yeah, and doesn't it only affect, or does it affect Thoron? I forget. It's just Thunder, right? Because Big Hurdy Lightning is the whole family, but Dire Thunder is just Thunder, right? So it falls off in usefulness. It doesn't affect Thoron, yeah, because it's Big Hurdy Lightning from May that affects the other Thunder Tomes, and Dire Thunder doesn't. Last night, I showed a bunch of friends who aren't familiar with Fire Emblem the FE11 Guidance Chapter requirements, and their reactions were gold. That's wild. That's wild. I'm playing on Maddening, and in endgame, Thunder +4 is one-rounding things. Really? I might be misremembering. But you could probably kill stuff with, like, Thoron and Big Hurdy Lightning in that point, right? Or Bolganone and Big Fireball. The Big Fireball is like... Is that Nino? No, Nina's Excalibur. Giga Excalibur. Who has Fireball as their bond rank skill? Is that Tormod? Tormid? I don't remember. I need to look at the bond ring skills one day. One Brave Assist users can just make thresholds easier, and I think most of your units reach it without them, though. I guess if you're using, like, a kind of shitty squad or doing, like, a zero growth challenge run, they can be nice. Lilina's Big Fireball! Right, that makes sense, because Fire Tome in FE6. If you use Dire Thunder on Linden, he gets extra crit. Yo, the Linden crit build. So true, Gotby. So true. Citizens of Aritia, please rescue Sister Renna. Miss Renna helped to cure the poor and the sick. However, she didn't need our warning, and the dreaded Devil Mountain. We haven't seen her ever since. The way Miss Renna treated us was like that of an angel. Please, you must rescue her. For this, we have gathered 3,000 gold. We will leave Miss Renna to you. And you have a hand axe, right? Yeah, hand axe. And you drop a steel sword for some reason. Doga, keep choking this point. Enemy exclusive self-destruct. I do like the enemy exclusive self-destruct. I think it's an interesting skill. Engage should have an option to disable your engage. Oh, so you can get the ability more often? Yeah, it does mean that, like, getting the bond rank can sometimes feel like a debuff, like on Edelgard. Because you don't get to Raging Storm as often. Or, like, Byleth dances. If FE3 was about 25% faster, I would play it over FE11, but damn, Shadow Dragon is just so snappy. It is! It's so nice. Fun fact, Vale and Alir are Norian royalty. Is it because of their skills? Animations surely improved from 3 to 4 to 5. I don't know, I really like these animations, to be honest. So I don't know that I agree with you. I really like this set of animations. I think it's quite good. The main thing that I don't think is snappy, is like the menuing can be clunky. SNES animation's good, so true. Biggest improvement with SNES FE is the music. This music is iconic. "13 attack versus 6 defense. And 12 attack versus 7 defense. Okay, so Abel, you can go here. Is this only 0% growths, or is this also an Iron Man? No, it's just 0 growths.
Don't underestimate the god of pirates. Chase my hand axe.
Tasty, tasty hand axe. What FEOST isn't iconic? Good point. I moved on to looking at engaged personal skills. The illusions have some odd ones. I mean, Hortensia's is good. Or do you mean the illusion retainers?
Take this, elephant.
Four defense versus 12 attacks, so that's gonna be 8 times 2. That's fine. This boss is tedious to take down, but it's not a problem. Retainers have things that mess with hit and avoid. I'm not sure how impactful 10 or 20 is in practice. It can be nice, but I feel like in Engage, less so. I'm not like that worried in Engage about like 10 or 20 avoid. Hit fixing can be a point of contention in Engage. Gomez fell. Do you think Marth and Sita and the Peg Sister Sports will be helpful? Oh, they might be.
To think there could be such a foe.
Your Highness, thank you very much for chasing off the pirates. Now we can finally live in peace once again. To reach your elites from here, you must cross the Devil Mountain. Please be careful. Devil Mountain is ruled by a Samson gang of bandits. They have raided villages and ambushed travelers. They're a fearful bunch, especially that bodyguard Navarre, who has a frightening sword arm. I sincerely hope that your journey is safe. The death music is so fucking jump scare. Traveling from the frontier regions to Archanea, Marth's biggest challenge has appeared. The Samsfleet Peak is a steep mountain that divides the peninsula into northern and southern regions. Since some unknown time, bandits made it their base, and they started attacking neighboring villages and travelers. Raids, kidnaps, setting fires, their crimes are known to many. In fear, the people called the mountain Devil Mountain, and they called those gathered at Samsfi the demonic Samsians. That's so less iconic than a brush in the teeth and the soothsayers. Devil Axe hype time. Alright, save the game. Alright, we should probably give Gordon's steel bow to Kashim. Fire Emblem chapter should come together to spell Nicole is dead. Yo, I love Dead Space.
Hurry, Miss Rena! If you aren't quick, we'll both be finished. I heard the Archanea Knights have arrived towards the south. Now's our chance to escape. Please hang on, you can do it.
I'm sorry, but I still haven't found my precious relive staff. Julian, forget about me and flee yourself. If it's just you, I can teleport you away to safety with my work staff.
How is that gonna help? Don't you understand why I betrayed them in the first place? Anyway, we'll find that staff later. For now, let's just escape. Hurry, go!
Fate's Nicole is dead. Alright, so we have Book 1 Lena. Book 1 Julian. And Book 1 Navarre. Alright, let's start with Lena. Warper? Warp is good, right? Like, so I think Lena is an overrated unit because people act like she's the only person who can use the warp staff in Archanea. Especially in FE3. Like, I think Maria has the weapon level for it, right? What's Maria's weapon level? I know in FE1 Maria can use it. Wendell can use it. And like, by the time you want to warp, you have other options. Yeah, Maria has a higher weapon level. Is more warp map wide? Yeah, infinite range warp, right? Very useful for either warp skipping or even just getting side objectives. Like in the first indoor map, chapter 5, we're probably going to warp Doga up to protect a treasure you get Hamurn, but Hamurn is bad in this game because you can't Hamurn stabs and you can't Hamurn legendary weapons. Warp is good, and oftentimes Rena just becomes the Warper because Wendell has better things to do, like he can do combat. But that's not necessarily, like, that doesn't mean Lena's the only Warper out there. I think she's fucking overrated. Warp is strong, though. Like, Warp is really good. She's also your first staffer, so, like, she can heal people, which is also nice. Like, staffing is nice in FE1 and FE... Well, I guess this is FE3. FE3 Book 1. But staffing is nice in FE3 Book 1. But the thing is, she's not the only person who can do staffing. She's kind of the default staffer by virtue of the fact that the others that could do it have more important things they do. And I think that makes her worse than them by default. If, like, they could do her job, but they're not because they've got other things that you want them to do instead, like, it makes them more flexible than her, right? Like, if you're Iron Manning and she dies...
Here we go.
Lena PFP, Lena is fucking overrated.
She is! She is! She is, though! She is! She's still good. Like, I'm not saying, oh, this unit's trash. Like, she's still good. But I feel like people talk about her as if she's the only person in the entire world who can use the Warp Staff. And she's just not. But Warp is good, obviously. Teleport someone anywhere you want. There's so much that you can do with it. Warp skipping is obviously, like, the big one, but it's not limited to warp skipping. It's limited by your imagination. The Kana Dragonstone Plus argument. Lena being rated to the levels of Safi is so funny. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. Fucking, what's the, it's an old mecha video, isn't it? Where he's like, oh, Lena's better because she starts with Warp Rank or something. Lena's so bad. No, she's not bad. She's overrated. Fuck, I'm overcorrecting. Lena's phenomenal, but she's overrated. Warp is really, really fucking good. And, like, you should use Warp. But yeah. Julian exists. He's a thief. Why does he have a door key? Can only wait. Can only thieves use keys in this? I know only thieves can use the master key, because master key is like the lockpick, but why does he have a door key? Whatever. It's Julian. Julian's a thief. Thief utility. He's sort of in the same camp as Bart's, where he has really fucking good growths, but bad bases and doesn't promote. 80% HP growth, 70% strength, but good luck on that strength base of 4. 50% skill, 50% speed, 80% luck, 40% weapon level, 30% defense, and of course 3% res. Julian combat's funny. Anyone can use thieves, but thieves don't use keys? Ah, okay. I thought the master key is an FE1 thing then. That's my bad. I'm spreading misinformation. Always use Rickard because he has the best portrait in the series. I don't know, Julian's kind of got aura in this portrait. He's also got 12 speed, like he'll double things, which is cool. I foresee us doing some Julian combat, like unironically. 12 speed is a lot of speed, especially as a sword user. You know, it's the Ogma argument. And in a vanilla run, his insane strength growth means, like, he could genuinely snowball into something useful as a combat unit. And he has Thief utility. Thief utility's nice. Obviously, Marth has Thief utility as well. And Marth is force deployed, so Thief utility is less good, but he can open doors, which Marth can't. And he can sort of spread out to open chests if you're on a timer. It's nice. Thief having over 3 times the defense growth of Ogma. Yeah, wait. He has triple Ogma's defense growth. I didn't even fucking make that connection. Not that 30% is, like, good. Nobody really has good defense growths in this game, though. But But yeah, Julian, surprisingly competent when trained up. It's just the matter of his rough start. 12 speed is good though. Alright, so Sita, go up here. Ogma, go up here. Doga, go up here. We could honestly just send the entire army this way, couldn't we? But I think... let's get the Devil Axe for funnies. Oh, I forgot to give you a Javelin. Whoopsie doodles! It's light Ogma. Yeah, Julian's kind of Ogma light. So they guard the castle. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da, bum-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da.
Oh, you're looking very lively, young lad. It isn't easy task to reach a place like this. I will reward you with this axe. What do you think? It looks impressive, no? However, this devil axe is cursed. Is a cursed axe that draws blood from its user. It would be best not to use it at all.
Why are you giving it to me then?
Don't use it, but I will give it to you.
I do find it funny how in this game tries to maintain the starting item sets from FE1 even though those items don't exist anymore. Like Julian has a door key or Maji's 2 iron axes instead of a hammer. That's why he's an Ike archetype! Because of the hammer! It is funny how fucking, like, underutilized axes are in this game, but they still gave us axe users in in Book 1. What were they thinking? Sword fighter Navarre! Why would a person like you become a bodyguard for these bandits?
Huh? Who are you? I have no business with women or children. Get out of here.
Please stop this unnecessary fighting and lend your strength to us. If you're unwilling, you can cut me down with your sword right now.
I won't point my sword at you. Since you risked your own life to request from me, I don't have a choice. I will lend my strength to you.
What a fucking recruitment combo. What a fucking recruitment combo.
And he has the kill sword! The kill!
Navarre is just worse Ogma, but he has a better weapon level. Better growths too. 90% HP, 50% attack, 40% skill, 50% speed, 60% luck, 30% weapon level, 20% defense. For our purposes, like, he's slower, 11 speed, 5 attack as opposed to 4, right? Because Ogma's only got 4 attack, I think. No, Ogma has 6. It's Julian who has 4. Yeah, so he's just worse than Ogma, but he has 9 weapon level compared to Ogma's 6, which means he can use the kill sword. And I believe he also gets silver sword, right? Or silver 10. Did I lose my page that had all the FE3 weapons? But I believe, by comparison, you only get 1 silver axe in book 1 where you can actually use silver axes. Yeah. Silver sword is weapon level 9, yeah, so he can use the silver sword at base. Of course, Ogma will get there eventually. But yeah, he's just another hero if you want another hero. I think he's fine. His growths are better than Ogma's. His bases are worse. Take that for what you will. Use whichever one you want. Or both. You know, hashtag just use both. Not a mercenary, though. Or not a Myrmidon, though. Hashtag not my Myrmidon. It's possible the 50% strength growth can fail him, which has happened to me. It was insufferable seeing him never level strength from 3 to 10. That's funny. That is funny. That's the growth versus bases experience. Killing Edge archetype. The kill sword! Good job, Abel. Chuck that javelin. I like how in book 2, after book 2 has no axe users. Yeah, so the silver axes that Faulty's talking about are basically bullions. Yo, Navarre got a crit without even having the kill sword equipped. Don't suffer from success, Navarre. No! Dodge, buddy, dodge, 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 duck, dip, dive, dodge, and dodge! He's the king of dodgeball. The 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, dick, duck, dive, and dodge. The little giggle at the start of enemy combat reminds me of the Ice King theme from Paper Mario. It might be the same sound effect, because it is still Intelligent Systems. Jacob noticed that with Paper Mario 64, using the same lock opening sound effect as the GBA. Made a pretty cool YouTube short out of it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yo, I can't wait for Bart's promotion. At least this doesn't have weird Toei refusing Dragon Ball sound effects in One Piece. What? Is that like a reused thing as well? We just need something with the same whistle for when you get a badge. Yo, the badge whistle is so iconic. I actually really like that sound effect. FE3 stream's sick. You are unfortunately tuning in near the end, because after this map, I think we're gonna end it so that I can go, eat lunch. Because I'm starting to feel a little lightheaded from lack of foods. Lack of food stuff. But we will be continuing this playthrough. The hashtag zero growths moment. Where are the thieves going? Do they drop items? No. Doga Gaming! These thieves are just badges of experience for good units like Doga. Yo, I'm glad to have another Doga truther in the chat. Hashtag Doga truth. He is I do think he's genuinely, like, quite good. In this game specifically. That's where you get the name Doga from. I believe that's how it's pronounced as well, not just Drog. But yes, that is where I get it from. Ba-da-da-da, ba-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na. They're so scared of Doga right now. We get 3 warp staffs in this game, right? So 21 uses total, because Hamern can't repair warp.
Doga's gonna get him.
There's more warp uses than maps. True, but a warp skip usually requires 2 warps. At least. That's a lot of EXP for Jagan. Can't wait to see what his first level up looks like. Surely it'll be good, right? You only get 2 in Book 1. The one in Archanea Palace Thief isn't there in this game. Oh! So I only get 14. Okay, that's good to know and keep in mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the Stat Booster Secret Shop still exists, right? Because without it, I'm not entirely certain what our Media's strategy is, but I'm pretty sure it still exists. We don't just randomly skip that map, do we? The first 3 Fire Emblems have fixed not matter your level. FE4 was the first one decreasing for level, and FE5 is the first one. Oh, for experience, yes. They're so scared of Doga. They're so scared of Doga. So do Wyverns have lances in this game? What happened to Hootclair? Hootclair was invented by FE11. There's no Hootclair in FE1 or FE3. It's DS fanfic. Yeah, exactly. It's a good way of thinking of it. Although I do think it's a good addition. I like it. It gives Minerva, like, more of a niche that she wouldn't necessarily have in DSFE otherwise. But yeah, there's only 3 Regalia. Parthia, Mercurius, and Gradivis. There's stat booster shops, but you have the big field map that got cut, so you have to shop on the Ulm map. I've been psyoped by the DS games. Thank you for the info. What the fuck? No Axe Regalia by default is similar. DSFE stays winning. Axes are only used by 4 units in FE1 and 3 in this game. None of which are in Book 2. So, I don't think it's that bad. Archanea axes are super fake until the DS remakes, yeah. FE1 doesn't even have silver. It doesn't. And then in FE3, silver is basically just bullion. Every axe unit in FE1 joins in Chapter 2 and they don't even come back in Book 2, yeah. This is Axeclusion. Dragonstones are arguably a more real weapon type than axes. Arguably. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Infinite uses means you can use them in endgame without worrying about no shops for half the game. Bring back infinite use Dragonstones. That's all I have to say. The enemies will ask you a question and it won't get answered. Zero AS. Three AS. And remember, no weapon triangle. This is just for AS.
So you guys want to die? I'll grant you wish.
I guess I thought it was axiomatic that axes were good as the other weapon types. Six defense versus 14 attack. That's 8 times 2 is 16. So he lives at 1. Axes weren't good until 7. Bad in 1, 3, and 4. Mediocre in 5 and 6. I would argue they're bad in 6. And in 5, the good thing about axes is just like Brave Axe or a personal weapon, right? The Voog. Kaga hated axes. Axe units are good in 5. Voog, therefore axe is best. I think most axe units in 5 are not actually phenomenal. There's some exceptions like Ocean and Dagda. But in general, I'm not a fan of them. Kaga doesn't like being axed questions. Don't ask Kaga his views on the Persian people. Hyman had a relive. Bartz took the relive.
Ugh! I'll remember you.
What's in this armory again? Why was this guy named Hyman? Because he's hard to penetrate. It's just the same as last chapter. Alright, let's seize the castle.
Look, Your Highness! We found 10,000 gold inside the castle, which the bandits left behind. With these, we can make further preparations. Excellent! Tomorrow we'll reach Orleans. Until then, please rest well.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We should rest well. I'm gonna go have lunch. See y'all.